now that we're on, we're recording once again. My name was Sean O'Brien for the camera. Please say your name.
Dan Lentz.
And we're going to be doing 10 laps in this beautiful Shelby GT500. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Now the mirrors are all set up for me. I'll help you with traffic out there. I might place my hands on the wheel for safety reasons if we do get into close proximity with other cars, or if I just want to show you that racing line a little bit better. That way you can focus on your eyes and your vision and just really staying in front of the car and looking those couple steps ahead. That'll be the most important thing out there. Your vision is what controls everything you do in the car. So we'll work on that. Vision will be a key thing. And then obviously that smooth has got a lot of power. It's all sitting in front of us right there. That beautiful big hood sticking out there, but smooth with the brakes and firm. This thing's works really well around our track, and it's geared really well, but smooth with the steering and balance, smooth with that throttle obviously as you come off those corners. Onto the paddle shifts, they're actually really they work fantastic on this car. Upshift is on the right, downshift is on the left obviously. It's mostly just gears 3 around the majority of the track and 4 down that straightaway. The track has such good flow, and obviously the car's got great torque. Third's phenomenal gear around this track. This car's geared like perfectly for our track. So yeah, listen to me for the call outs for the gear changes, and we'll go from there.
Right on.
Any questions?
No, I'm good.
Go ahead and twist your dial to D.
To D?
Yep, we're going to pull forward. And then push the M in the middle to prioritize the paddle shifts. Good. You can actually pull over here to the right-hand side. Yeah, get over here right next to this. There you go. Now over here to your left. I just wanted you to avoid that.
Oh, gotcha.
Cooler down there. Cool. First task successfully completed. Head on over towards the stop sign. That'll be our track entry point. Depending on how we're doing out there, I will probably have you do some sort of a cool down lap, either midway through or at the end. It's not one of your 10s, so don't worry about it. It's just a lap where I want you to shift up into a higher gear, like 5th or 6th. We're just going to kind of cruise around, let everything cool down, and then we'll either get back into it or we'll bring it on in, okay?
Okay.
Pull up to these 2 little blue cones on the right, please, just so I can see a little bit better on the wall. Making sure no Hellcats are about to come flying out. Looks pretty good. You're clear. Head on to track, merge over to your right, shift up twice. And then you want to make your way through the chicane over towards the left-hand side. You just want to go straight through it, coming out a bit wide and to the left, and then as your eyes scan to the right, you can start turning in towards your apex now. Bring it in nice and tight towards the apex. As you start to accelerate, let the car just kind of float back over here to the edge of the track, straighten it out. We're going to make our way all the way down the straightaway here. Shift up once. Go ahead, shift up once. And apply the brakes. Downshift once. Good. Eyes right. Start your turning down to your apex, driving it all the way down to the bottom of the track. Turn it just a little bit more next time. That way we don't run wide on the exit here. We want to spot that cone a little bit earlier as well. So pretty long braking zone here. Yep, just leave it in 3rd. Eyes right. Start your turning towards your apex. And then you just squeeze into the throttle. This corner gets tricky because it's blind. You want to be mid-track exit, then hustle the car quickly over to the right, then transition back over to the left. Balance over the crest. The car gets light. Wait for it, then accelerate as you go down the hill, making your way to the left and then braking, turning in late, and then apex is late as well. Now you can accelerate off the corner, use a little bit of space on the outside, then bring it back over to the right-hand side. A little bit of brake pressure here, then back over to the left. You don't need much. You want to keep your momentum up through the chicane, and then again, another light brush of the brakes here just to put some weight on the nose for your turn-in through one leading onto this straightaway. Unwind the wheel back to straight, put the power down, and let's go. Shift up. Good, and brake. Downshift once. Start your turn-in down to your apex, drive it all the way down to the bottom of the track. A little bit closer, hold it. Now start to throttle, and then let the car unwind back to straight. Good. Keep on it, stay left, now brake. Stay left, stay left, stay left, stay left. There you go. And then make your way back over towards your apex on the right. Squeeze onto the throttle, make your way back over here to the right-hand side. Just a light touch of the brake, turn it into the left. You can get 2 wheels on that red and white paint right at that first apex cone, and then accelerate down the hill. Bringing it back over to the left, onto the brakes. Good. Start your turn in towards your apex, a little bit closer. Closer, closer, closer. There you go. Now you can accelerate out of the corner, unwind it just a little bit. Good catch over to the right. Good. Lift, left. Try turning in just a little bit earlier there so we can hug that apex a little bit closer.
Okay.
Eyes right. Start your turn in towards your apex. Squeeze onto the throttle and unwind to the left-hand side. can see right to the edge. We don't want to do that anymore.
I
More
need to-
brake pressure. As you get faster, it's all relative, right? Brake harder as you get faster, which is good.
Stay left?
Yep, because we've got our turning cone right there. Look to your right for your apex now, though. Then squeeze back onto the throttle. Good. Get the car back over to your right. A little bit of brake, and then back over to left. Over crest balance, throttle downhill, come out wide, then over to left. Good. You don't need to take any steering input out of the wheel until now. Now brake. Start your turning. Good. Rotate the car inward. Try spotting that apex just a little bit earlier in the corner. That way your hands kind of have a... over to the right. That way your hands have kind of a basic idea of where to actually guide the car, right? That's what you're trying... Your eyes is telling you where to guide the car. So as you're coming up to this corner here, you spot your apex. So that's what you want to turn in towards. Now you spot your exit cone up there on the left. That's where you want the car to end up.
I got you.
Okay. Good. All right, so harder on the brakes this time. Good. Downshift once. It'll start creeping towards the middle of the track as we make our way down that braking zone. Really common mistake. We want to actually stay on the high side of that corner and use that banking to our advantage to pull the car down and towards the apex. I don't know why you keep going over here.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Stay on the left side.
So
start your turn in. Yep.
Gotcha.
Bring it in.
Okay.
Squeeze back onto the throttle. Make your way back over here to the right-hand side. Good. Light brake. Now left. Turn it in. Balance over the crest. Good. Now throttle down the hill. Keep on it. Keep on it. Keep on it. Now brake. Now hold the brakes as you start turning in. Turn in more. Turn in more. Off the brakes. Let it roll. Let it roll. Now start to throttle. And then bring it over to the right. Good. Lift. Left.
Left.
And throttle straight through. Soft on the brakes. Now turn it in. Good. Run right over that red and white paint. Now accelerate out of the corner. Straighten the wheel out as you accelerate. Shift. All right. Give me some good brake pressure now. Downshift. You want to stay up here. Now turn in. Good. Off the brake. See how much more space you have?
Yes.
And much better angle. Turn in more. Turn the wheel more.
Turn in more.
Now, yeah. That way you don't run off track. All right. Onto the brakes. Good. Eyes right. Turn it in. Squeeze onto that throttle pedal. Get the car over to your right. Light bit of brake here. Now left. Wait for it. Okay, so I'm going to show you the racing line in a little bit more detail here. You want to spot that turning cone and you want to point to the left of it. Then you want to turn it in here and you want to get really close to this apex. Then you want to accelerate and just kind of straddle the side of the rubber and then the asphalt. See how that racing line is kind of there, drawn with all the tire marks? Just straddle that line and that's usually a pretty good spot. Turn in earlier here, get really close to that one, and that's going to give you a lot more, less work to do as you turn the car in for this one here. You want to be as close to that left side on the entry of that corner as possible. That's going to help you out. We're going to kind of do a cool down lap here while I talk you through a couple of these corners. Sure. Go ahead and come off the throttle, just let the car coast, and that way we give everything a chance to cool down. Now up here, everything's looking pretty good. Just stay up high, and then we kind of dive in down on that apex, and we want to be really close to it, and then we want to spot that exit cone, and we want the car to end up right next to it here on that exit, not before. Okay, through here looks good. Just stay on the left-hand side the whole time, and then make your way back over here to the right. We'll get that one down. That'll be an easy fix. Hustle the car back over quickly. Spot the tip of the turning cone, then turn it in. You got this one down actually pretty good. As you start to accelerate, your idea should be right about middle of the track, maybe 3/4, but get the car back over here to the left to set up for this one really wide. You see how I'm using a lot of paint there too?
Yeah.
You can get up on that paint too. That's going to be perfect for you, okay? Straddle that line. Let's get back into it. You all good?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, now turn it in about here. Good. Now brake. Downshift once. Good. Now turn in. Look through your corner. Visualize that racing line. And now let the hands follow the eyes. Good. And go, go, go. All right, so you're in fifth. Go ahead and brake. Downshift twice. Good. And let's turn in down to our apex. Good. There you go. Closer. Now start to throttle. Straighten the wheel out a bit. There you go. Good. Now brake. Straight line. Still in the brakes. Still in the brakes. Now start your turn in and release. Turn in more. And then start to throttle. Good. Get the car over to your right. A little bit of brake. Now left. A little bit early on turn in there. It's all good though. But accelerate down the hill. Keep on it. Keep on it. Now brake. Touch the paint on the left. Now brake. Brake, brake, brake. Turn it in quickly. Turn in more. There you go. Good. Now throttle. Back over to right. Good. Lift. Left. Throttle. Wide left. Soften the brakes. Look at your apex over here. Turn it towards it. Line it up with your exit cone on the left. Accelerate towards it. Perfect. That was perfect. Good. All right, let's put it all together now. Stay focused. Hit your marks. Hard on the brakes. Stay straight. Downshift. Turn it in. Down to your apex. Turn it more. Turn it more. Turn it more. Patience. Okay, beautiful. Throttle. 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 There you go. Good. Now hard brake. Still on it. Still on the brakes. Start your turn in. A little bit more brake pressure before you turn in. You're carrying a decent amount of entry speed, but we don't want to miss these apexes. Now over to left. Turn it in more. There you go. Then start to throttle. The idea is to get the car over to your left-hand side on the power. Now brake. Good. Ride the brake a little bit as you turn it in. Turn in more. Turn in more. It'll hold, I promise. Then accelerate out of the corner. Bring it back over to the right. Good catch. Lift. Left. Tight left. Good. Throttle. Brake soft. Look right for apex. Turn it towards it. Get closer. You got it. Good. And go, go, go. There we go. Nice lap. Shift up. Good. Now hard on those brakes. All the way down. Good. Spot the apex. Turn it towards it. Really drive it down towards it. Start to throttle. Good. Straighten the wheel out. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Now hard brake. Hard on brakes. Harder, harder, harder. Start your turn in. Release the brake as you turn in. Start to throttle. Get the car over to the right. A little bit of brake. Now left. You're still turning in just a little bit early there. What that's going to do, it's going to spit you out wider than you want. You don't want to drop a wheel because that is a little bit of a drop. Brake. Turn it in. Turn in more. Good. Smooth it out into the corner. Just brake a little bit harder. You're right there. Lift. Left. Good. Back on throttle. Soft on the brakes. Turn it in quickly. Get the car to turn in. Good. Start to throttle now. Straighten the wheel out. Good. Good. Hard brake now. Harder, harder, harder. More. Good. Now less brake. Off the brake. Just let it roll. Turn in more. Now start to throttle. Good. Squeeze the full. Straighten the wheel. And brake. Good. A little more. Start your turn in. Tighter. Try to spot the tip of the turning cone. Get the car more to your right this time. A little bit of brake. Wait. Now left. There you go. There you go. Straighten out. The good catch. Keep working your way left. Brake. Harder on the brakes. Turn it in. Get it over there. A little bit wide. A little bit more brake. That's all it is. Over to the right-hand side. Just lift. Left. Good. Get nice and wide to that left-hand side. Set yourself up for a fast exit. Let it roll. Turn it in towards that apex. Now accelerate. Good. Hard on the brakes. Downshift. You got it. Drive it down. A little bit early. A little bit early to apex. Early apex, early exit. Make sense? Brake. Good. Eyes right. Turn it in. Back into the throttle. Get the car to your right-hand side before turning it into left. Now left. Off the throttle. Just let it roll. Let it roll. Now start to throttle. Good. Good. Go, 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 go. Keep on it. Keep on it. Now brake. Good. More brake. More brake. More brake. All right, I had to help you out a little bit there. Turn more. You got to just brake harder there. That's the only thing you're getting it. Remember, when you brake, you put a lot of weight on the front end, so you don't want to be on the brakes when you're turning in. You want the heavy brake pressure to happen when all you have to do is go straight. When it's time to turn in, there's already natural weight on the front end of the car. We want to be releasing the brake as we turn in, and our heavy braking happens before we turn in. All right, full throttle, let's go. Good, brake hard, down a gear. There you go, less brake, off the brake. Turn it in more. Throttle, eyes up, spot that exit cone. That's where you want the car to end up. Good, go, 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 go. Full throttle, full throttle, full throttle, full throttle. Now brake hard. Harder, harder, harder. And turn it in. It's got the capability. Back on the power. Over to the right side. Good, easy on the brakes. Now left. Squeeze throttle. Brake. Harder, harder. Turn it in more. Don't miss that apex now. Get it over towards it. You can pass the SUV on the right. And to the right side. All right, good stuff. This will be our in lap. So we're going to be exiting the track. We're going to do one lap to cool the car off and cool the brakes down and let all those temperatures come down. So like we did earlier, you're just going to go ahead and shift up twice into fifth, please. And then just kind of coast right around 50 to 60 miles an hour. That's a good speed where you don't need to use the brakes. So go ahead and come off that throttle, and then you should be able to carry the rest of the lap at around this speed right there. Dude, what'd you think of this car?
This thing is way different than my freaking turbo, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so
sure.
used to, it's weird because I'm used to the turbo lag. So when
Sure.
I press on the gas and it just kind of, it takes a minute to spool.
Yeah.
And this thing, you press on it, and I can feel the rear end starting to shift a little bit, and it throws me off. I'm like, holy shit, what am I trying to do?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, the car just has, and the other thing that's really tricky is the car, remember, try not to carry a speed where you need to use the brakes. That's one thing we got to cool down before we bring it on in. But, yeah, it's, the car just has such good grip. They've done such an outstanding job on this chassis. You know, the car, everybody knows the cars are going to be fast. You already kind of expect that. But it's how much brake pressure can be applied and you can get away with. And then just literally the cornering ability. Just the handling of this thing is really, really good. You can slow it down now. Go ahead and turn us on over here to the left-hand side and then go straight all the way down. It's just surprising at how, you know, this car gets overlooked quite a bit compared to some of the other ones, yet it is so competitive with all of the other cars here. And that's really cool to see.
Where am I going?
Down the middle row. We're going to park it in between the Porsches and the Lamborghinis. This is the one car that has its own cooling system, external cooling system. You know, because supercharged V8s, they produce some heat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit.
Park right here. This one? Yep. You're good. He's going to check out that car. All good. Right now the weather's perfect though, so this thing is rocking and rolling. That's good right there. I'm going to put you in a new... Nope, towards me.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing you just got to realize, especially with front engine cars, the weight is naturally sitting on the front. You can take your foot off the brake if it's on. The weight's naturally sitting on the front end of the car, so when you brake, you shift weight to the front of the car. Well, when you're going straight, it doesn't matter. You're not trying to add a second input. But when it does come time to add a second input, like turning the wheel from the right to the left, okay, now we want to settle that rear end down. We want to take some weight off of the front end, and the only way we can do that, because we can't take the engine and take it out, well, we can take some brake pressure off as we turn in, and that'll give you that balance, that more balanced and settled car into the corners. So that just means that the heavy brake pressure can happen. It just has to happen before the turn-in point happens. Now, you can get away with that, braking late, braking into the corners in some of the other cars where the engine is behind you, and that's the advantage to engine placement. That's the importance of it, and understanding where the natural amount of weight lies. But once you can kind of get that down, and then you just kind of realize that this thing just has as much power as it does, this thing is a lot of fun to wheel around the track. So, good stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's the eyes, right? That's kind of the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's always like training your vision, because when you increase speed, you increase the difficulty of what you're trying to actually do, and which is looking through the corners and then points. So.
Gotcha.
Any questions?
No, man, I'm good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on out. Good stuff out there. Just let the car continue to idle. Let me give you a video here. Are you driving any other cars today?
No.
You going for a ride in that Hellcat?
No, I'm good.
Okay.